everybody. Hi there. I wanted to give you some information about the group meeting that you're going to have next week in class, and specifically talking about meeting planning and agenda preparation. So let's go ahead and look at that. So again, you're going to have 45 minutes next Tuesday to work together in your groups and to start working on your group project or your team project. So in this PowerPoint, I'm going to talk a little bit about how to plan, run, and follow up after a meeting. And then we've already talked about some successful group projects from previous quarters. And then also kind of the plan for next week. So meeting planning, and this can be part of your agenda. So you want to be sure to define the purpose of the meeting and who will be attending. So obviously that's a given for you. So the purpose is to work on your presentation, and the who will be attending obviously is your group members. And then two, you want to establish start and end times. So obviously for this meeting specifically, I will be telling you when you're going to start and stop in class. But for future meetings that you have for your groups, the virtual meetings, or maybe you're going to meet other times face to face, you definitely want to be clear on both start and end times. You don't really want to leave the end time open, because oftentimes it takes longer than we think, and people like to know exactly kind of how much time they're going to commit to this particular meeting. And then also you want to always create and distribute meeting details prior to the meeting. So if you can send out the agenda to everyone a couple days before any meeting, and this happens obviously, or this is important later in your work life too, that people want to know what to expect, right? Unfortunately, we're inundated with meetings, and if we think we're going just to go and that it's not going to be productive, we might resent it. So if there is an agenda that's clear, that has the meeting details and also important action items included, that can be really helpful and set you up for success. So leading the meeting, you definitely want to start on time, and if you don't know everyone, if it's a new work group or something, begin with introductions. And then also provide an overview of the agenda, and if you have any handouts, you would definitely distribute those at the beginning of the meeting. And then you want to ensure that someone in the meeting is taking minutes. And I encourage you for the time that you're meeting in your different, whether it's online or for this meeting that we're going to do in class, ask that someone takes notes. And you're actually going to submit these notes to me. The next thing that's important is keeping it on track, right? So if you do kind of go off on a tangent, that someone or multiple people in your group are really good about saying, hey, that's all interesting, but let's save that for later. You can even have what's called a parking lot, which is maybe just a piece of paper to the side that people can write down other issues or things that you're going to save for another time. This allows you to keep those action items for this meeting at the forefront, and also will keep you on track in terms of time. Then you also want to clearly identify any decisions that are made during the meeting, and those should be highlighted obviously in the meeting minutes. And also action steps and who's responsible for completing those action steps after the meeting is done. So really being focused and really being clear on the decisions that were made, and also the action steps that need to be made before the next time you meet. And then try and end on time for sure. And then after the meeting, the person who takes the minutes definitely wants to type them up or have them in some sort of format so that you can distribute them to the rest of the group with those action items and who's accountable for them being highlighted. You also want to think about and establish the timeline for action item completion. So is it before the next meeting? Is it in the next few days? So again, really being clear in your expectations for that. And then just individually, or maybe even as a group, you can evaluate how the meeting went. Did you find it productive? What were some small successes in the meeting that you thought went well? Maybe all voices were heard, or you really were creative in generating some great ideas. And then maybe any areas for improvement that you can improve on for the next meeting. All right, so details for the group presentations. We went over these, but just a little bit more information. I want everyone to be involved, but everyone doesn't need a separate topic. So, like for example, maybe two people are going to work together on the interactive activity that you might do. Maybe you're going to bounce off in between one speaker to the next. Maybe someone's going to give content and another person's going to give an example or something like that. So it can all be integrated. We also want it to be interactive, so be thoughtful about how you can get your audience involved in your presentation. I also ask that you include an introduction, a thesis and preview, the body, and then a clear conclusion with summary. And this corresponds to what I'm going to be asking you to do in the design presentations. And I have a template that I will share with you on Canvas. And then I also want it to fit into a 15 to 20 minute time frame, including the interactive piece. So be thoughtful about that. How can you get the audience involved in a way that fits nicely in that 15 to 20 minute time frame? And then finally, you definitely want to include some sort of visual aid. So whether it's a PowerPoint, a Prezi, a video clip, or something that visually engages us as well as through you speaking. So be thoughtful about that. All right, that's all I have for today. Talk to you guys soon.